Hey everyone, I'm Jacqueline Hughes. I'm one of the coaches that's contributing to this awesome training that we have going on for you. I'm a 5-star Diamond Elite coach. I am the personally sponsored coach of Meredith Ganau, who you've seen featured in some of the videos in this training. And I'm so honored to be in this group with you all and helping to facilitate this portion of the training in particular. Today, I'm going to be talking about investing in key players, which is something that I'm really passionate about. And so when Jamie had the topics up, I really wanted to jump into this one because I've been at the receiving end of a lot of investment myself, and therefore take a very, very strong stance in helping to invest in my teams and empower the people on my team, which we call Team Viva Vida. So I want to share a little bit about how I do that and how it can be so important and vital for your business to adopt the same behaviors and invest in your key players. So jumping right in, we're going to talk about the 80-20 strategy, leading leaders, using the leadership ladder to do this, knowing your 20%, investing in your most valuable asset, investing your most valuable asset, and staying connected with your people. So first, we're going to look at this 80-20 strategy. The 80-20 strategy is something that is used in a lot of sales and marketing, but essentially boils down to 20% of your team will bring in 80% of your volume. And conversely, therefore, that means that 80% of your time should be spent on that 20% of your team. And that is going to yield you the highest return on your most valuable asset, which is your time. And so if you are looking at your team, you know that looking at building a diamond, or if you're at diamond already, a lot of your team might be discounters, and that's fine. They're in their journey. A lot of them might transition at a later date to be part of that 20% and help add to your team volume. But in the meantime, those 20% that are actively growing the business are the ones that need your time and attention. They're the ones that you want to devote your energy to. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, and it's only finite how much energy we can expend on all the different areas of our business that we need to be able to grow and be productive, which is our 3 vital behaviors. And as we reach diamond and star diamond ranks, growing our team and developing trainings and such. So with that in mind and your growing list of responsibilities, you have to be able to tune into the people that are most going to take what you have to offer and run with it. We're going to go over a few ways that I've done that the coaches on this training have done that, and that you might be able to jump into and help with your team and help them to grow. So this principle, leading leaders, comes from the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. For those of you that know me at all know that I'm really huge into personal development, and John C. Maxwell is one of my favorites. And the first law, is it 21st or 20th? I think it's actually the 20th law, is the law of expansive growth. And it essentially says to add growth, you lead followers. To multiply growth, you lead leaders. Now think about that for a sec, leading leaders. And when we step up to start this process, which all of you that are in this training, you're taking the initiative to be that leader of your team. You're here for a reason. You are investing in helping other people grow their dream, helping them realize their success and growing what they can envision for themselves. So when you lead leaders, it's all a matter of desire. There are 2 types of leaders, really. There's the leaders that want or need to be needed by the rest of their team, like their team can't survive without them. And then there are the leaders that want to be succeeded. And I'm hoping that the majority of you fall into that secondary category, because we want to see our people do better than us, to reach higher than us, and to keep growing. And in order to do that, we have to invest in them and look at those leaders and look at their needs and meet them where they're at so that we can help them grow in their potential. So that's, in my opinion, one of the greatest successes that we can have stepping up as a diamond and star diamond coaches, to watch our coaches then do the same thing. And that's exactly what you're in this training to do, is to help understand the process of getting there and then help potentiate that action in your team. So one of the ways that I've started to do this, and I love the leadership ladder as a tool, the leadership ladder helps you determine who those people are, because it's not always the people that are just emerald or just diamond. There are behaviors that go into the leadership ladder that help you determine who's actively working their business and growing, because somebody can reach emerald and plateau. Somebody can reach diamond and plateau. But if you're looking at it from a leadership ladder perspective, which you start to get reports once you're a diamond coach in your back office who's on your leadership ladder, then you know that they're putting forth those behaviors to hit that next rung. And so if you're looking at the breakdown here, you should all be familiar with this at this point. I don't need to remedial train you. This is found in your back office under the news and training tab. But you can have business starters, team builders, team leaders, organizational leaders, and executive leaders. Now, if you see somebody jump into this team starter, business starter, and maybe they're not even your PS coach, maybe you're looking at your back office, which the ladies have gone over already in this training earlier. If you're looking in your back office, you can see when you expand and you look 5 levels down, who is a business starter, who is a team builder. And if there's somebody in between you guys that's not working the business, then it's on you to reach out to them and start to cultivate that relationship and help to invest in them. Those are your team key players. But these business starter rungs, team builders, I'll show you in a little bit, my office, how I have this all mapped out so that you all can see how I keep a track of this. But this is how I go about it. But I also keep in mind my diamonds and my emeralds and help them as well. They're still part of my 20% that I spend 80% of my time with. But the leadership ladder really determines who I know I need to be mentoring and reaching out to. So look at your leadership ladder and help determine who is on there. Know your 20%. So you can do this several ways. Personally, I like to just get on the phone and talk, and I have my list of questions that I go over with my newer coaches in the very beginning. And if they stay in that top 20% and they stay active and I'm engaging with them on a regular basis, then I continue to do that and follow up with more questions on what I call power calls. So I go with number 2. But a lot of people also have had great success going with number 1 and doing a form. When they sign up their new coach, they actually have a form or a questionnaire that they have them fill out that kind of outlines the questions and can guide their GSR call. I do this a lot in just our emails leading up to them even becoming a coach. So I'll reference those, but I don't have an actual form, which might be something that really appeals to you. So if it is, then go for it. You can create them in Google Docs or Wufoo. But again, I always like the personal touch of actually setting up a GSR and getting to know them. And I keep index cards on all of my coaches. And again, you'll see my tracking method in a minute. But all their goals are on there, and then I follow up with them. And anybody that's on my leadership ladder wall or my diamond or rank advancement or new coaches, then I follow up with them on a regular basis. You want to watch them and track what they do, because we all know that there's been discount coaches. I was one that came in and then decided once they saw the vision that this was something they wanted to grow. So they decided to grow the business. So you don't ever know who or at what point they're going to start to motivate. But new coaches should always be in your top 20% that you spend 80% of your time with, because they don't quite know. And maybe they said they wanted to be a discounter like I did, but then once their foot's in the door, they start to realize that this could be so much more. They get the vision and they can start to grow. Whereas if you just ignore them as a discount coach, they'd never get that opportunity to learn that. With that all being said, you want to ask them what their goals are. Have a clear vision. You want to observe what they do. Are they being active on the team page when you add them? Are they responding to you when you reach out to them? And then match their effort. If they're showing up, add them to your roster of people that you want to engage with and follow up with, even if there's a coach in between you and they're part of your downline and may not be your personally sponsored. And then lead with your example. And a great analogy was made in the book Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy about a man laid a string on a table and they were discussing leadership. And he said, what happens when you push the string from behind? And they observed that it got all crumpled up. But he said, look what happens when you grab the string and you lead from the front, and the string moved forward with great momentum and strength and straight. And that's the same idea and principle behind leadership. If you're leading from the front and you're putting your example out first, they'll know how to follow it. And then this same way of investing in your key players will trickle down through the rest of your team. So always leading from the front. So invest your most valuable asset, which is your time. And there's several ways to do this. And this is where I'm very passionate about it, because when I came into the business, Meredith and I started at the same time. So essentially she was my coach, but she was also my success partner and is to this day. And so we had this momentum to grow together. But when she had the opportunity, we would do trainings together. We do calls together. We would do seminars together. And within the first 4 months, she also brought me on a trip with her. She had earned a Success Club trip, and I was the only one of her coaches that was actively working the business. So she incentivized me to come with her. And there I learned so much more, and it potentiated even more of my actions and recognized me at every step along the way. She always recognizes me, as does our upline, Amy Silverman. So recognition is huge as well. So be aware of how you want to invest in your key players. Are you taking the time with your top 20% to do trainings for them, giving them the knowledge that they need to hit that next marker, and helping them determine where it is that they're either getting in their own way or falling short of where they want to go with their goals? Is it that they need to help work on their communication, their leadership? They need a better understanding of volume. They need a better understanding of the business. And how can you help them meet that need and come in as their mentor and help guide them through? Do the calls. I love setting up power calls with my coaches. I can tell when the energy starts to wax and wane, or if some of the coaches start to go inactive, that it's time to really pull together and do power calls. But even so, just staying on a regular schedule where you reach out with them on a weekly basis is really a great habit to get into. Also, seminars. If you have the opportunity to treat your coaches to coming with you to a leadership event, or a opportunity for like a personal development opportunity. I know I've been a part of 2 trainings where I've been allowed to bring a guest. So to those 2 trainings, I'll be bringing my coaches along with me that need the opportunity to not only connect with me and have time with me, but to have another opportunity to learn and have someone else invest in them. There's no greater feeling than feeling like somebody actually sees potential in you and wants to invest in you. So that as well. And of course, recognition, recognizing the things in their business that you would like to see them, that they're doing well and that you would like to see more of. So obviously Success Club, but even more like volume, ranks on the leadership ladder, rungs on the leadership ladder. You see your leaders starting to reach out and build up their people. You want to acknowledge that as well. You want to see that they're doing the same behaviors that you did and replicating what you've done in your business. Staying connected. So this goes for your whole 20%. So your new coaches, all the downline, making sure that they know that they have access to you via calls. If you need to set some kind of standard, like hitting Success Club, that's something that you may need to do at a certain point so that you don't get inundated and that it only applies to your 20%. You can say, you can set up a call if you hit Success Club 5, or if you're working on this kind of goal, or if you're in this training, we'll do a Zoom meeting and all come together and work on your goals. Sending PMs and voice memos. I love sending voice memos on Facebook. It's been a really good connector for me and my team. I like them to be able to hear my voice. I like hearing theirs. It conveys a whole different level of emotion and connection, I feel, than just writing it out in text. Open team page and or chat. So if you have just 2 coaches, which all of you would need to have if you're a part of this training, you need to at least be Emerald. So if you're on this training, you should already have a team page of your own, or at least have a group thread for a chat for you to communicate with the people on your team that are going to be your success partners. When you start out, a lot of your first coaches are not coaches that are following you, they're actually growing with you. So with that in mind, you need a way for you guys to come together, because although your upline may have a great team page to be a part of with lots of resources, that can seem overwhelming, and they join this opportunity to be alongside you. So give them a way to directly connect with you, to voice what's going on in their journey and reach out to them regularly. And then shout out and introduce them on the team page for your upline, on your page, maybe even on your public wall or their public wall. Something that I've experienced some success with is putting a picture up and saying, hey, help me welcome so-and-so to our team page, and give a little bit of information about them. Then everybody posts welcome in the comments below, and they really love that warm welcome to the community. Another way is to actually post it on their wall and say, hey, congratulations on taking this step in your coaching journey. Welcome to our team, our tribe, our family, whatever you call it, and just gives them a way to kind of get it out there too, because everybody's nervous to make their first coaching post. And if you take that off their shoulders and give them a welcome out in the open in front of everybody, that's really welcoming and inviting as well. So those are my slides thus far. What I'm going to do now is share with you what my setup looks like for tracking. But keep in mind, the way I track may not resonate with you, and you can always do a Excel file or a written journal. You have to know how best you're going to be able to keep track of your people, but this is how I do with mine. Hey guys, so this is my little makeshift office area, and this is my way of tracking who my people that I'm investing the majority of my time in from month to month. So right now, like you'll see, like I have my board spread out, and I've been using the leadership ladder, which I really, really love, because it gives me that distinction of who's actively hitting those benchmarks in their business to grow and who's requiring my guidance and I need to be checking in with on daily, weekly, bi-weekly basis. So this board here represents my leadership ladders. So my team builders, 2 of them are almost team leaders, and if you notice I have colors designated on each of them. That lets me know like which ones are on which leg. So purple designates my right leg of my first CBC, left leg of my first CBC, and yellow designates second CBC. So I know who's in which CBC and where they're how to strategize for them and help them. I also have little index cards for each of these people that kind of gives me their goals, their marked dates for which goals that they have, so that I know how to follow up and best serve them and know what's going on in their life and really be able to key in on how best to serve them. These are my newer coaches. So also with your newer coaches, you don't know who's going to really take this and run with it. And if from this point, after me checking in with them for several months and helping them grow, if I'm not seeing them hit those markers and start to grow their business, hit Success Club, grow their teams, then they'll also shift off this board. I will still keep them in the loop as far as keeping them engaged in trainings to the best of my ability, but it's really going to require them to meet me that halfway mark so that I'm investing in them, but they're also investing in their business themselves. They can only grow if they're putting forth the effort. I can't do that for them, and you can't do it for your team, but you want to give them that initial investment up front of your time and energy, especially if part of your recruiting is telling them that you're going to mentor them. You want to make sure. And I like this way of gauging who's working with me, because then I see their faces, I'm connecting with them, even though much of what we do is online. This gives me a way to visualize, to see them, to grow with them. So I also have this board here. These are my diamonds and my emeralds. So these are people that are rank advancing but haven't quite jumped over to the leadership ladder yet. And so I'm working with them to help them reach their goals. But again, these are the people that I need to be making time to give calls, to give incentives, because they're showing me that that's where they're at in their business. These people are also transitioning over there, so I'm working with them as well. And that's just the way that I like to break it down. Find something that works for you. I'm a people person. I like to have relationships with these people, and seeing their faces really helps me do that. As well as being on calls, obviously, and helping them in trainings and one-on-one. This is my calendar so that I can see in a shot what my month is going to look like, where my calls are, and who I'm meeting to make sure that all the people that are up here are somewhere on here so that I'm connecting with them. And then I have, of course, my other little whiteboard where I do trainings and such. This is just my way of kind of tracking everything. So hopefully that visual gives you a little insight of how at least I track, but be sure you're finding a way that works for you. All right, so that rounds out investing in your key players. I hope that you guys found that helpful and that you've taken something away from this training that you're able to use. This rounds out our final day. So as always, if you have questions, comments, anything, post them in the comments below, and we'll be sure to get back to you. But also, take this knowledge that you've gotten from this last week, guys, and really just try to jump in and apply it, because it's in the application that you really start to own it and make it a part of your business, and that it can actually benefit you. So I hope to see you do that. If you have any questions, again, reach out below. It's been an honor to be a part of this amazing group with all of you amazing people, and I hope that I get the chance to meet each and every one of you at some point in the future. All right, guys, talk to you later.